You know when you see a piece of wooden furniture and it just looks incredible? And you wonder, how did they get it to look so perfect? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on furniture finishing. We're going to uncover all the steps that take a simple piece of wood and turn it into a total masterpiece. So often, the answer to that question really comes down to one thing, the finish. And it's so much more than just slapping on a coat of paint. It's a whole process, one that takes a lot of precision and, well, a lot of patience. So what exactly is that process? Let's break it all down right from the very beginning. So before you can even think about putting a finish on something, the furniture has to get its shape. This is where the real artistry begins, and it usually happens in one of two ways, carving or turning. These are the techniques that give furniture its unique, decorative personality. What's so cool here is how different these two approaches are. With carving, you're basically chipping away material from a block of wood that's just sitting there. But turning, that's totally different. The wood is actually spinning on a machine called a lathe, and you shape it as it moves. Two completely different methods, but both create these beautiful, complex designs. And you've seen the results of this stuff everywhere, right? Just think about the elegant curve on a chair leg, or the intricate details on a little decorative stool. Yep, that's carving and turning at work, adding that special touch of craftsmanship to things we see every day. All right, so once the piece is shaped, we get to what is, honestly, maybe the most important stage of the whole thing, preparing the surface. I mean, you could buy the fanciest, most expensive finish on the market, but if the wood underneath isn't perfect, it's going to look terrible. This part right here is the foundation for everything. Yeah, getting that perfect, glossy look. It all starts with these steps that, let's be honest, aren't very glamorous, but they are absolutely essential. Skipping this prep work, that's the #1 mistake that separates a weekend project from a professional piece. Okay, so what are we talking about here? It's basically a 3-step deal. First, you have to treat any little imperfections, like nail or screw holes. Second, you sand the entire thing until it's silky smooth. And third, you put on your base coats. Let's take a quick look at each one. First up, taking care of any holes. This might seem like a tiny detail, but filling every little nail and screw hole with wood filler is what gives you that perfectly clean, unbroken canvas to work on. It's absolutely crucial for that high-end professional look. Next is sanding. And you know, a lot of people think this is just about making it feel smooth, but there's way more to it. On a microscopic level, you're actually creating these tiny little scratches that give the paint or polish something to really grab onto. Without that grip, your finish just won't stick well, and it'll be way more likely to chip and peel off later. And finally, we get to the base coats. The filler takes care of any leftover tiny gaps. Stain, well, that's all about adding color. It can make the natural wood look richer or change the tone completely, but you can still see that beautiful wood grain right through it. And then the sealer, that's like the primer. It acts as a final barrier, protecting the wood and getting it ready for that final top coat. Okay, our surface is prepped and perfect. Now it's time for the fun part, the main event, applying the final finish. This is the step that gives the furniture both its stunning look and its long-lasting protection. And you have so many options, and each one has its own vibe, you know? If you want that super smooth, high-gloss, modern look, lacquer's your go-to. In a hurry, water-based finishes dry really fast. For amazing protection that also makes the wood grain just pop, an oil-based finish is a fantastic choice. For a more natural, soft shine, you'd use wax. And if you want a solid color with a really hard, protective surface, that's where you'd use enamel. So after all that, you might be asking, why bother with all this work? Well, it really comes down to 3 big things. A good finish is like a coat of armor. It protects the wood from water, scratches, all the daily abuse. It obviously makes the furniture look way, way better. And because of that protection, it just makes the piece last so much longer, maybe even for generations. All right, we are so close to the finish line. The piece is shaped, it's prepped, it's finished, but it's not really a piece of furniture yet, is it? Not until we add the hardware. These are the final touches that actually bring it to life. So, what is hardware? Simply put, it's all the metal bits and pieces that make the furniture actually work. You can think of it as the bridge that takes a piece from being a static sculpture to a thing you can actually use. You know, we're talking about the stuff you use every day without even thinking about it. The runners that let a drawer glide open smoothly, the hinges that let a cabinet door swing open, and of course, the handles and knobs you touch every single time you use it. And that brings us to the very last step, the final inspection. So after all this effort, how do you know if you've actually done a good job? Well, there are some pretty clear standards that separate the good from the great, and this is where we see if the piece meets that gold standard. A really great piece of furniture, it has to hit all four of these points. The surfaces gotta be flawlessly smooth to the touch. The joints, they have to be rock solid and secure. All the parts need to be straight and level, no wobbles. And the finish itself has to be neat. No drips, no bubbles, no missed spots. And this, right here, this is the key. Anybody can make a piece of furniture, but paying attention to all these details and meeting these standards, that's what elevates it. It's what separates something that's just made from something that's well made. It's about a real commitment to quality. Look, it's definitely a detailed process, no doubt about it. But every single step, from shaping the wood to sanding it down to sealing it up, it all adds up to a final product that's not just beautiful, but one that's built to be durable. It's about creating something with integrity. So the real question is, are you ready to create something that truly lasts?